How's it going, everybody? Thank you for being here. Welcome to Mueller. My name is Chance Higgins. I'm going to be walking you guys through just how to log into the PNX app here and adjusting some of the settings that you'll need for the field. So first up, these are going to be your login credentials. Your first name dot last name at MuellerReports.com. That'll be your login for your website, the PNX app, as well as your email. If you have not set this up on the Mueller website yet, you need to go back to that first onboarding email and make sure you follow those steps on changing your password. If you have not changed the password, you will not be able to log into the PNX app. So once you log in using those credentials there, you will basically come to this screen. Now, this is the Android. Maybe a little bit different on iPhone. On iPhone, it takes you to your general main menu here. On Android, you have to click this burger menu on the top left corner. But essentially, we're going to start by just syncing your app. So it should automatically run a full sync when you first log in. But if you ever need to sync your app, whenever you get new cases, whenever there's any updates or changes to your cases or anything like that that we need to have show up on our end, you have to go to the Actions tab. So on Android, you'll click on that burger menu, go to Actions. On iPhone, you just in your main menu, you go to Actions. And what we're looking for is this big blue Sync Now button. And we can go ahead and run that sync, and that's just going to process everything. It talks to our servers. It brings in any new cases you may have. Anything that you've done on your surveys will then be uploaded to the website. We just have to run this process. Now, it can take a little bit, so we'll let that run for a second here. As you can see, it's just running through those checklists, and it is going to take you back to your main menu if you're on iPhone, or it takes you back into your reports. So if you're on iPhone, you'd have to go into your reports to see your surveys. Now, you should all have some of these same exact cases, basically. They'll say 63 Main Street on them, Tonawanda, New York. That is our headquarters address. And these are essentially training cases for you guys to just kind of mess around in. You can't really mess them up. But they are there just to kind of show you how the app works. So feel free to click on any one of those. There's different things here. Feel free to kind of mess around, look in the forms, see how they work, types of questions that are going to be asked. Like if I go to this protection one here, pretty simple. Is there a fire hydrant within 1,000 feet of the risk? Yes or no? If I put yes there, it's going to ask you, again, is there a fire department? Yes or no? Are there any concerns? Yes or no? Right? So we just kind of follow along, look through those forms there, get a rough idea of kind of how they operate. But these are all the things that we do have to fill out for this case. Couple settings that you guys are going to have to change. We'll start with Droid first. There are some location settings that we do want to adjust. I'm going to bring up my phone screen here again. You're going to want to go to your actual phone settings. So not the settings in PNX, but the actual phone settings itself. So it might be a little bit different depending on which device you're using. Every device is a little bit different here, but you should be able to figure it out. We're going to go to the location area. So it could say location, it could say location services, it could say location and security. So I'll click on location. Now it wants to know which app I'm talking about, so we're going to go with, PNX. Okay, we want that PNX app. There's a few things that we have to make sure we have turned on, right, for our permissions. One, we need that camera to be allowed, right? So just make sure that is allowed. That way we can take photos inside the app. Your location does need to be on as well, and it needs to be set to only while using the app. If we have it set to always, it kind of messes with a couple things, so make sure it's set to allow only while using the app. And you also want to make sure your phone is allowed too, because we make phone calls through the app, and this way it logs your phone calls when you're calling policyholders. We want the app to use that as well. So make sure you have those turned on. For iPhone, it is a little bit different. There's one extra thing that you guys will have to do, so do that as well if you're on iPhone. Again, it may look a little bit different. The terminology or the verbiage may be a little bit different, but we want to make sure those things are turned on. Now for the iPhone, there is another setting that you guys will have to go through as well. So on iPhones, unfortunately, you will not be able to use that Bluetooth clicker inside the PNX app. For whatever reason, they do not communicate. So instead, you'll have to go into your phone settings. You're going to want to find the PNX app in your settings. And we want to make sure that the option to show the camera roll is turned on. Right? That does need to be on. And then whenever you go into the PNX app, one way to test this is if you go into the photo section, which I can pull up my Android device here. It's basically the same. You open a case. If you go to the photos section, on Android, you'll have just this roll of film. If you click on that, it'll bring up your camera roll. On iPhone, if you will have a camera icon up here, if you click on that camera, it'll give you two options. Either choose the camera if you want to take a photo, or choose camera roll, and that will go to your phone's gallery, and you can upload photos to the case from there. So any photos that you need that Bluetooth clicker for, like your roof pictures, you'll have to take them on your own phone outside of the app and then import them manually.